Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you for attending to this special call. As most of you know, my name is Gor Guerrero. I'm the delegate of LaLiga in Denmark, in Nordic countries.
Hola, Patricia.
Okay, so as I already explained.
En español lo ha grabado, ya lo empezó a grabar mi compañero.
Wait one second. I'm hearing some other voice.
Vale. Sí, no te preocupes. Muchas gracias por todo, Patricia.
Wait one second, guys. I'm
Sí,
hearing some other. Okay, now. Sorry. So, as I said, as I briefly explained to you, we're going to have this call. Kind reminder of the instructions. We're going to have two mostly rounds of questions. First round, we will have the chance to ask two questions to Jens, of course, and then if you have more time, you will be able to ask a third question. As brief introduction first, as I was saying at the beginning, as delegate of LaLiga in Denmark, most of you know, we landed 3 years ago here in Denmark, and we have been working together with you guys, with Danish media, providing you LaLiga content, several opportunities, short call with international players, the classic morning breakfast with all of you. But today we have the great chance to interview one of the current Danish players we have in LaLiga. And of course, it's very important to thank Jens and to thank Cádiz for giving us this opportunity. Okay, so having said that, let's welcome Jens and we can start the conference. Thank you very much, Jens. Tusind tak, to have the opportunity to have you here with all Danish media. So I'm going to briefly, of course, you all know Jens Jonsson, but just a very brief introduction. He's a current midfielder for Cádiz. He started his career in AGF in August, of course, then he moved to Turkey. And lucky for us, in La Liga, we can count on him today. As you will know, Cádiz is one of the new promoted clubs in LaLiga Santander. They did an amazing season last year in LaLiga Smart Bank, second division, and they became champions. Moreover, thanks to the good performance from Jens, he has been selected, as you of course all know, and recently played for the Danish national team. So before starting the questions, I'm going to give you, just to know that you can be ready, the order of the journalists and the questions. So we will start with Extrabladet with Gilles Thorsen. Then we'll move to Boldico, Andreas Rosen. Then we'll move to Tipsbladet with Anas Den. Then we'll go turn for Rizau with Mikkel Lundby. And finally, Danish Radio with Andreas Kroll. Okay, every one of you can put the micro and the camera on when it's your turn and ask the two questions to Jens. Of course, as I said, feel free to do it in Danish. Jens will also answer in Danish, and I will do my best to follow it. Okay? So thank you very much. You can go, Gisle. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Hi, Jens. Kan du høre mig?
Yep. Hello, Jens. Can you hear me?
Jeg skal høre, hvor rangerer sådan en kamp som Barcelona på din?
I just wanted to ask a game against Barcelona, sort of looking at all your games in your career, how big is a game like that? Well, that's obviously a huge game for me. There's no way around that. Barcelona and Real Madrid are among the biggest teams in the world, even though I'm personally not a huge fan of either team. But obviously, getting the opportunity to play against such teams is a unique and fantastic opportunity for me. My second question is more about Denmark. I know it's a few years away, but have you already given any thought to where you would like to end your career? Do you think it will be AGF in Aarhus? Yeah, I've been playing around with that idea. And ideally, if you could write sort of a romantic tale of football, I would obviously love to finish my career with a few good years in AGF. But hopefully, that's many years away. And who knows where my career will lead me. I might not be ready to come home before I'm 33 or 34 years old, in which case AGF might not think I have something to offer. But yes, I do have a dream about ending my career there. Thank you, Jens.
Andreas.
Ja, hej Jens. Kan du også høre mig?
Yep.
Hello, Jens. Can you hear me? Yes. Following along the trail of Gisle's question, talking about the Barcelona game, you're probably one of the players who will have to face Lionel Messi. How does one prepare for such a task? I'm not sure you can really prepare for playing against Messi.
Det er en kamp som alle andre, men rent taktisk så
I don't want to say it's just another game, but I think tactically we will approach it in the same way as we always do. We'll have a tight defense, pressure the ball hard, but he will be a difficult man to mark. I'm sure he'll give us a bit of Messi magic. We've seen him numerous times doing incredible things on the pitch. I'm not really sure that you can prepare for a play like that. Well, you've had a great start to the season, Jens. I think a lot of people might even have been surprised by how well you have done. Are you surprised about how well you've played and how well you've been doing personally on the team?
Jeg fik jo at vide, at jeg blev hentet for at spille.
I was told that I was brought into the team to play and to be in the starting 11. So it's not that big of a surprise. But obviously, if I hadn't done well, I wouldn't have been playing. But the coach thinks I'm doing a good job, which I'm obviously very happy about. I think speaking for the team, I think nobody really knew what level we had, and I think we actually have one of the lowest budgets in all of the league. As far as I know, not many of the players have previous experiences from La Liga, so it's a new experience for us. But I think that might have been an advantage to some extent. If you look at the way that we play similarly against any team, no matter if it's Real Madrid, Barcelona, or a third team. Thank you, Jens.
Thank you, Andreas. Now it's the turn for Anas, then from Tipsbladet.
Hej Jens, jeg laver også lige lydtest.
Ja, det går også.
Testing. Thank you.
Det første, jeg gerne vil spørge til, det er...
First of all, I'd like to ask you about the weekend's game and the situation with the penalty, which wasn't called, even though there was quite an extensive review from the VAR system. I believe it was 13 reviews. It was committed or not committed, depending on how you look at it, on you. How did you experience the waiting time, waiting to find out if the penalty had been given? Well, I found it frustrating because I was quite convinced that it was a penalty. I've only seen the review once, and I don't feel like the situation was caught properly by the cameras. But I felt like I received a hard push directly in the back, and I'm not the type to go down without a foul. So in my opinion, it was a clear penalty. I don't think it's a question of whether I was about to score. I would have definitely won the ball in that situation, and he pushed me very hard in the back with both hands. So I was very surprised that the penalty kick was not given. Yeah, I might even say that I was shocked that we didn't get a penalty in that situation, but that's life. Okay, my second question is about the upcoming game against FC Barcelona, where you'll be playing against a fellow Dane, also from the Danish national team, Martin Braithwaite. Last time you guys faced each other was in a game in 2013 in Denmark. Will you be talking to Martin Braithwaite leading up to that game about how far you've both come in your careers? No, I don't think that will be the topic of discussion, but it's obviously a funny and wonderful story. I don't think that'll be the topic of discussion, though.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you, Anas. Now it's time for Mikkel Lundby from Ritzau Agency.
Hi, Jens.
Hello, Jens.
Lige dit første spørgsmål, som kom fra Gisle, det her med, at hvor stort det er at spille
Following the
mod.
lines of the first question from Gisle about how big an experience it will be to face Barcelona, you've recently had a number of firsts, these big games that you have the first time playing for the national team or against Galatasaray and other huge experiences. How does this compare against to sort of a normal league game, so to speak? Do you prepare mentally in a different way for these big games? No, not really. I think it's more for the rest of the world, from friends and family. They give you a bit of extra attention leading up to these big games. But as I said, I'm not a huge fan of either Barcelona or Real Madrid, even though I, of course, recognize that they're two of the greatest and best teams in the world, both currently and throughout history. But it's obviously a special experience, and you're very excited leading up to a game like that. But at the end of the day, it's just another football game. 90 minutes you have to play. So whether it's a big or a small team and how big the stars you're facing are, it's just another game. So you're saying you can actually get used to playing these huge games? Well, obviously, as I say, the level of play is completely different. When you're playing against Messi, comparing that to playing against other more normal players, but a lot of factors come into play. There are no fans in the stadium, which is obviously a big part of such an experience. From my time in Turkey, as you also mentioned, when you had to play these big games against Galatasaray or other teams, there's obviously a big difference whether you play at home or away. And when you play away, you can really get a sense of how huge the experience is and how big the team is. Unfortunately, I will not get to experience that this time around against Barcelona. Hello, Jens. When you were back in Denmark playing for the national game, we talked about your experiences moving from Turkey to Spain. Can you talk about a bit about the different play styles? You obviously have extensive experience in that. Is there generally a big difference in the way that the teams play? Yes, I think so. In Denmark, the type of play is very physical and very tactical. In Turkey, a bit more technical, sort of Indian football, I'd like to say, a bit of back and forth without too many tactics involved. But I feel like Spain has everything. I wasn't surprised to find out how great they are on the ball. Obviously, everyone knows that, but I have been very surprised about the level of physical play here and how important that is here, not just in Cádiz, but in every club that we've faced. And of course, when you combine excellent football players who are also very physical and tactically minded, you are playing against a full package. So if I should describe Spanish football today, I would say that it has everything that football has to offer. Following up on that, I would like to say that obviously you've already had some great experiences playing in Turkey and Spain and also AGF, and you just mentioned that Barcelona and Real Madrid are not among your favorite clubs. So looking forward in your career, if there's another great experience that you'd like to have, is there a specific club or a specific country that you'd like to experience? Well, I would love to just experience as much as possible. But I'm so happy here now. So I'm a little bit frustrated that the Corona situation is influencing my life here in southern Spain. It affects not only my personal life, but also the football stadiums without fans and everything, even to how we act in the dressing room. But now I'm just doing what I was hired to do, which is to play football. And hopefully I will have a more normal year next year in the club. and we'll see what happens then. I'll have 1 year left on my contract at that point, and we'll see what happens in the future. We'll see if the club still wants me, if I have to move on. It's not something that I worry about at the present, because I'm very happy where I am. And the most important thing for me, disregarding the great start that I've had, is that I still have a lot to learn, and I can learn a lot here. I'll be learning from every game that I play in La Liga. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to improve as a player. And I'm not even close to being done here. Thank you, Jens.
One more question from each of you. So maybe we can just, not following the order as before, just if you have any other question, just put your camera on and then we will order from there. Okay, Mikkel, again from Rizal Agency.
Again, Jens.
Hello again, Jens. I want to ask about the influence that Corona is having on the entire football calendar. Throughout the last several years, you've been used to a certain process. The year ends May or June, you end the season, also depending on your commitments with the national team. Then you have a bit of a holiday and then you start preparing for the following season. How different has this year been now that Corona has had such a big influence on the spring and really messed with your internal calendar, so to speak? Of course, there's a big difference between this year and other years, but it's hard to say specifically what has changed. I hope that we won't have a lockdown or big interruptions continuing into the future. So whether we finish the season on the 15th or the 29th of May doesn't make a big difference to me. The major difference is in everyday life, and you can get sort of frustrated about how the Corona pandemic is affecting our lives. Yeah, it's mainly every day in the small details that there are differences that you notice. Thank you. Hi, Jens. Following up on my question about Martin Braithwaite from before. You might not be playing directly opposite him in the game against Barcelona, depending on their starting lineup and their positions, and whether, of course, you'll even be playing that game. But he is a striker that you have some experience with, also from the Danish national team. How do you prepare for a game such as that? Prepare for playing against a fellow Danish player? I don't know how well you know him personally, but how do you prepare? Do you approach the game differently when that's the case? Do you talk to the coach and describe how he is as a player? Are there any differences there? Well, no, not really. Of course, I don't even know if I'll be playing. But I prepare for each player that I face just the way I always do. Obviously, I'm gonna say hi to Martin during or after the game, but that's pretty much it. I don't think I'll have any influence on the tactics, and depending on whether or not he plays, I think the coach will entirely take care of that for me. No, I don't think that will be the case. Thank you.
Ja, bare et hurtigt spørgsmål, Jens. Nu ved jeg godt.
Yes, just very quickly, I know that Diego Maradona never played in Cádiz, but he did play in Sevilla, which is quite close by. How much has the death of Diego Maradona affected you guys in Andalusia? Have you experienced the importance that he had for that region in Spain following his death? Well, because of Corona, it's not really something that I have noticed. So I'm not sure how to answer that question exactly. He He's obviously a great player who spent a large part of his career here in Spain. So he's an important player, especially here. And there was 1 minute of silence and salute for him throughout La Liga, but I haven't seen anyone walking around in the streets crying in their Maradona shirts. I can't say that that didn't happen. I haven't been going out much because of the Corona situation. So I can't say. Personally, I haven't really experienced that. It's not something that I've noticed in the stadium during training either. But obviously, it's something that we talk about. He was a great player.
Okay, perfect. So, of course, thank you very much all for participating today. Special thanks to Jens for your time, for having you here today, and of course, extending this thanks to your club, Cádiz Club de Fútbol. And of course, I would like to wish you good luck on Saturday with your face-to-face with your colleague Martin Braithwaite, a Danish face-to-face. And again, thank you very much. And guys, for all the media participating, just to let you know that we will send you the recorded link of this interview. And one more, I hope you enjoyed this opportunity with Jens live. And thanks all for participating today. Thank you very much.